Hi, welcome back. It's Bertina again from a new You Self-Care Wellness Center. So today what we're going to talk about is creating your special getaway. We all need a place in our home to where we can get away. But right now, with the quarantines and everything, it feels like that we're isolated in many ways and that we don't have connection with others. So what I did some research on why we need solitude. Now, according to the Meno Clinic, invading someone's personal space could cause stress and anxiety. We're not okay with strangers being in our space, and it causes us to feel awkward and uncomfortable. But usually we feel okay with family being in our space, but what about family members always being in our space? Do we need space from them too? And the answer is yes. We find that we do need our own sacred space from our families. This isn't something bad. It isn't telling your significant other or your child to get out of your face. It is, look, I need some time for me. We need to de-stress, we need to decompress, and then we need time just for self-care. Stress causes over 75 to 90% of the doctor's visits and illnesses that we encounter. So think about that for a moment. Stress in general causes the majority of illnesses and doctor's visits. This is something we can control. One of the easiest ways to control it is to find a place for us to de-stress. Over time, stress can become chronic and has been linked to a host of major illnesses, including heart disease, cancer, depression, autoimmune diseases, and reproductive problems, along with more minor sicknesses like stomach upset, back pain, headaches, and fatigue. So if your space is constantly being invaded and you have no place to go for a moment of solitude, your mental and physical health could be at risk. Your relationships can also suffer if neither partner has room to grow independently in a space that they call their own. So, in speaking of that, there's a balance here. When you are looking to create your getaway, talk to your family members, talk to people you know, and say, hey, what are the time limits on this? Hopefully it won't be as soon as you come in the door, he goes to his place, you go to your place, and then you see each other the next morning when you wake up. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose is to get away, find who you are, create who you are, come back together with your family, significant others, or friends, and then share some of the things that you have learned about yourself or encountered. So what about social distancing and the fact that now we're either working from home or in solitude in our house? Well, there are downsides. The toll of too much personal space can manifest within our friendships. So our whole evolutionary strategy is built upon communal sharing as a cost of survival and successful reproduction. So basically, we need each other. So again, as I said in the first video, it has to do with balance. We need time to work and time to play, time to interact, and time to be alone. So we depend upon our physical contact to maintain friendships and relationships. Most research shows that we have a maximum of 150 mixes of friends and acquaintances. Now remember, there's differences between friends and acquaintances. Acquaintances are just people you know on Facebook, people you know at work, people you may know at church, but you're not really close to. But the thing is, though, is that this more personal space and social distancing is causing a decay rate of the friendships and the acquaintances that we have, and it's hitting really, really high. So the idea is to balance. So making time for yourself, but also making time to others. So when do we want to make time for ourselves? Well, trust yourself. Think about, am I starting to get stressed? Am I starting to get snappy? Is it time for me to go off by myself for a little bit? Am I really, really just wanting to think? Is my chest compressing and I can't handle so many people around me? So it's always great to have a little space for you to go to with that. So, and to help balance it, plan a family night, play games, do things together. Maybe if you are single, do a Zoom game night with friends. And then the next night, take the night out for yourself. And then the next night, you can do things with another friend, or maybe it's just mommy and daughter, or mommy and son, or daddy and daughter, daddy and son day, while the other two do something else. and work it back and forth and back and forth. So balancing yourself. Also realizing that when you want these little special getaways, it can be just for 5 minutes. It doesn't mean you go in, as I said, and shut the door. So how do we create our personal getaways? Well, one of the things is begin now. Have each family member choose their own special place. The special place can be where they go to when they get stressed out or just want to go to, and it's agreed upon that no one will bother them there. Even the kitties may not bother you there. No, we always want kitties to bother us. There has to be time limits for both adults and kids. We don't want kids going into these rooms and isolating or using them as a place to go to when they're mad with their families and they don't process their situations that they're in, their problems. But we set time limits. We also don't want couples to disappear into these man caves or she sheds or whatever you end up doing and losing touch and coming out 20 years later and the kids are grown and you don't even know each other. So if someone begins to isolate or stay away too long, then address it. The perfect thing is to plan a family night, a parent night, a kid's choice, and then switch it up. Maybe do 5 minutes. Let's do 5 minutes in our personal time. Let's go to our personal space. Or maybe it's 30 minutes and that's what you want to do. And this is a great way to encourage kids to be creative as well. And you, in your special place, you may go, okay, we're all going to read a book for the next 15, 20 minutes. And then we're going to meet back here and we're going to tell each other about the book. Or we're all going to draw or create something special for each other. And this is time when you can get away. But the idea is that everyone has to agree upon it. You don't infringe on their boundaries when it's their time to get away, whether it's your partner or your kids, and then they in turn don't. So it's a mutual respect. So now let's find a space for you. Depends on how big your home is. And then also how many people are in your family. I have a friend who, she's the hall closet. Like there was nothing in the hall closet. There was a light and she put a sign on the door saying, Mommy's room, be back in 15 minutes. And she literally, when things were getting way too much, she would go in that closet, sit down, maybe fall asleep, maybe cry, maybe scream, maybe read a book, write in a journal. She said that that was her space. Then she started using it for when she was happy. Okay, I want 30 minutes by myself just to collect my thoughts, look at my day, reflect on what I've done, look at my accomplishments, pat myself on the back. And she said finally they each had a little closet. Her and her daughter and her husband had his room and things like that. But the kids just thought that that was just a great idea. It can also be a porch swing. Think about going out back and just sitting on the swing for just a moment and no one yelling, Mommy, 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 or honey, can you fix this? Or honey, can you fix that? Putting a sign on the door, Mommy's in timeout. No, putting a sign on me time in progress. That's great. People will know. It's respecting boundaries. You can also just do a bubble bath. And I know a few people go, well, I have babies and I can't take baths. Actually, when I was a single mom and I was in college and I had my son, I took a laundry basket, put a comforter in it, laid the baby in it. He already had his bath, so he was already calm and getting ready for his bed. And I set it beside my bathtub and I had music going, the lights down, and a lot of times he'd fall asleep and then it was just very easy for me to go ahead and put him in bed while I went to bed. But that's teaching boundaries. As we got older, we never rushed into the bathroom with each other. As soon as I could get him potty trained, he was on his own. Within reason, not in the bathtub, but you know, we had our own privacy and things like that. So he never barged in on me on the bathroom or in a bubble bath or anything else. Having an area section off with a curtain. It's very simple to do. Take the kitchen table, put a curtain, put a like an unfolding wall thing. I don't know what they're called. Like just some kind of partition there that will allow you to have your own space. Maybe in that space you have a book or a journal or things that you're reading. So that's what you can do. Now, if you have even larger areas, you may have your own room. It may be a loft, maybe a tent in the backyard. It could be anything you want. So we talked about how long to stay in the room. 30 minutes, an hour, 2 hours. Hey, Sunday may be my day. It just depends. So just setting those hours. Make sure you decorate it for yourself though, even if it is the hall closet. Have a picture of things that make you happy. Maybe journals and pens. There's tons of journals and ink pens that I have everywhere. This is kind of my happy space here. It's in the front room. My boyfriend doesn't come in here when I'm using it. This is my Thai mattress that I use for Thai massages that I give. I have my journals and my books here. My cats come to visit, and it's very peaceful. So I have my personal stuff here. If you like video games or entertainment, is there a room where you have your video games and monitors up? Do you have a favorite chair that you want to bring into this room? Maybe a pillow. I'm sitting on my favorite bolster right now, and it makes me comfortable. And sometimes I have other bolsters out there. How do you keep it quiet for you? Or do you play music? Those are choices that you have. Also, another thing is, do you collect things? So if you have an area where you collect things, then that's really cool. On one side of me, I have comic books. On the other side, I have Harry Potter bookshelves. I may just go to those bookshelves and sit, and just, that is my space as well. If I'm sitting near one of these areas, that allows me to, and everyone else to know that this is my time. So if you have families, help inspire your kids to collect and have a special area for it. My son, who's now 27, had Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards everywhere. And when he was little, I mean, they were everywhere. You know how kids are with stuff. So when he was little, I bought a little card table and bought a plastic bin and told him that that was his little Poke World. And that's where all his Pokemon cards were at, or Yu-Gi-Oh cards were at whenever he went there, unless he had homework or something. But when it was his special time, that was his special time, and I wouldn't bother him. And I would never mess with the area, and he was responsible for cleaning it up. And he loved it. When he would get frustrated, which kids do, he would go there and play Pokemon cards. When he just wanted time to relax after school, he would go play Pokemon cards. And he is 27, and that table and cards, all the cards are still in his apartment. So just remember, whenever you're trying to find something new for you, a self-care ritual for you, make sure you include your kids and your family as well, because if they are going to value what you're doing, then you need to value them as well. And teaching them self-care, teaching them to have their own space is great when it comes to helping with anger management and frustration. I mean, we all get tired, and we have our own secret place to go to. So also, this also teaches them how to manage, how to have boundaries. They won't invade your space and things like that, and they understand the rules, and that's really great. In your little packet that you'll receive, there's a book suggestion that I found. It's called How to Make a House a Home, Creating a Purposeful Personal Space, and it's by Ariel Kay. And I thought it was a really great book for you to look at. But just remember, it doesn't have to take a lot of money, it doesn't have to take a lot of space, and it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Just going somewhere for peace and quiet for a few moments to collect your thoughts, to have solitude, is exactly what your special getaway is. So I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.